Hello. It's Emma Holmes at Rebels and Rockstars, and we are talking today about I don't know what to do first. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to be getting on with. So let's check it out. Whether it is a huge long list of stuff that you want to get done in your business, whether it is a choice about what product to create first or service to create first, whether it is about whether to turn left or turn right, what I want you to know today, and what I've been talking about quite a lot recently, is just because you say yes to one thing does not mean that you are saying no to everything else. The reality of the situation is that when you are choosing where to start, there's often this feeling that you might get it wrong. There's often this feeling that you could mess up. There's often this feeling that, if I do this, then what happens if that doesn't work? What happens if that doesn't take me in the right direction? What happens if? The thing is that when you're saying yes to one thing, that doesn't mean that you're closing the door and saying no to something else. It doesn't mean that you have to throw every single other idea in the bin. It doesn't mean that you cannot come back to other things that are on your list. What it means is you're saying, not now. Not now to the other things. I'm going to focus my attention on this thing. I'm going to create this thing. I'm going to get this thing done. It doesn't mean that the other things are being neglected, rejected, thrown away. It just means that they're not for quite right now. So how do you make that decision? How do you make the decision about where to start? And I think that the most important thing for you to do is to write it down. I think that there's a huge amount of power in the pen. I would grab my journal, I would write down, the things that I'm kind of struggling between, the things that I don't know where actually to start, because what happens is that when you get in this headspace, suddenly there are just so many options. Suddenly, all of these ideas, and they're taking up your brain space, and before you know it, it's kind of like the iPhone. Storage full. Can't take on anymore. So get it all out of your head. Get all of the ideas out of your head. And I think that often what we do is we try and overcomplicate stuff. We try and look at, the only way that we're going to make progress is by doing really complicated things, or doing, things that are really hard, or, there must be more to it than this. I would say always look first at the path of least resistance. Look first at the one that lights you up. Look first at the obvious, because often what we're doing in this quest, because we feel that it has to be super complicated and it has to be really hard, is that we're overlooking the really obvious things, the stuff that we could just crack on with and get done, and that would feel really good, that we would be able to flow with, that would feel super easy. So first thing is, write it all down, get it out of your head. Second thing is, look at the obvious. Look at what your gut is telling you. I know that so often when people go, don't know when to do this, don't know when to do that, and I'll go, do you know what? You know where to start. You know where to start. And the actual going through and going, just because you're saying yes to the one that you are drawn to doesn't mean you're saying no to the other one. Doesn't mean that you're closing the door on the other one. Doesn't mean that you're rejecting the other one. You're just saying not now. So if there are things that you need to get done, look at where it is easiest to start. Where is the easiest place to start? So if it's a to-do list and you feel like, oh my gosh, the to-do list is so long, I've got so much to do, it's so hard, look at the stuff that you could get done easily and quickly. Unless there's anything on there that is massively time critical or pressing, look at the stuff that is the easiest. Cathartic of getting that list ticked off, that feeling of achieving something will then create momentum. You will get a whole ton more stuff ticked off that list just by creating that momentum. If it's looking at a decision between a product or service to develop, look at what does your gut say. If you sit and you just spend